Facebook Live world. I never know what to call it. What do we call it, Jude? Just Facebook Live.
Facebook family.
Facebook. Hello, Facebook family. Happy Thursday, if there is such a thing. Welcome to, I think this is number 12, right? I think this is number 12. How Time Flies. Thank you for joining us again. We really do appreciate your support, and we love that you're tuning in greater numbers. Please share. Please like, please do the heart stuff. We're trying to build an audience, and we're trying to also give people lots of free, good advice. I was filling in for my learned colleague, Carlos, who's just arrived.
Hello.
We both got the blue...
I needed a coffee. The blue shirt memo.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them why we're here? Because I've just been making a fool of myself.
Welcome to our number 12 Facebook Live. Every week we come to you, Facebook land, from Miami, from sunny Miami, Florida, Florida.
Sunny today.
And we come to you to bring you 30 minutes of sales tips, sales advice, the attitudes, behaviors, and techniques of great salespeople, great management, great leadership.
How much do we charge for this advice?
This is absolutely gratis, as they say locally.
You can't do that.
And so once a week we come for 30 minutes. We come into your living rooms for 30 minutes, or your offices, or wherever you're watching from your car. Hope you're not watching live in your car, actually. We've got a couple of objectives here. One is to bring Facebook land some Garrido magic, some Sandler magic. And the second objective really is to tell you all about us. We're here in Miami, Florida. We're training people on almost a daily basis. We have thousands of clients, and we are here in Miami. This is our training room, and we welcome anybody who doesn't know about us and who's interested, who's watching this broadcast, to come and visit us. Every Monday we invite people to crash our class, and every week we get 3 or 4 people who are interested in the offer, and they come and they crash our class. And we treat them like family. We answer their questions. They participate in one of our training programs as if they were clients, and they typically get an extraordinary amount of value. Of course, you wouldn't expect otherwise.
We don't treat them like Mad Uncle Mike, though, do we?
We don't treat them like Mad Uncle Mike. We treat them like family, like the good parts of the parts of the family we like.
Those are the ones.
And today we're coming to you from Miami with the assistance of 2 very special people. We have our camera woman extraordinaire and producer is Jabelka, and we have Isabella with us, who is producer's assistant. And what would be the right term, Isabella, for someone who's helping the producer? You're in theatre, helps the director, the AD. You like the AD today, right?
Is it a gaffer?
No, she's not a gaffer.
No.
She's so we've got Jabelka and we've got Bella. Thank you both for your assistance. And with that, oh, by the way, if you did want to crash a class, I should tell you what to do. You should visit www.bit.ly, that's bit.ly SMCAC, that stands for Sandler Miami Crash a Class, SMCAC. www.bit.ly/SMCAC. We should start. Jabelka, what's first on our agenda?
We have a question from last week.
Do we?
Yes. So the question is, what are your top tips for getting past a gatekeeper?
Ooh, Antonio's magic at gatekeepers go.
Machine gun.
Machine gun. But if you were on the phone, how would you do it if you were on a phone?
So the thing about gatekeepers is they've got, if you're trying to get to somebody, get past the gatekeeper on the phone, they've got a job. Their kind of primary job is to keep the baddies out and let the baddies in.
No, you don't let the baddies in.
Oh, sorry. Keep the baddies out, let the goodies in.
Yeah.
Right? Keep the baddies out, let the goodies in. And oftentimes they've got to do that at great speed. And if you think about the role that they've got, they would never kind of get in trouble for keeping a baddie out, but they would get in trouble for keeping a goodie out. So let's assume a client calls and the gatekeeper thought that they were, a baddie, whatever a baddie means, that they weren't a client, they were just a cold caller, they were just going to be a pest, or maybe doing some telemarketing or something. and then the client then phoned, directly to speak to the president of the company because they've been treated so badly by the receptionist. That's not a good place for the receptionist to be. So she or he, they look for cues. They look for cues to determine whether the person on the phone is a goodie or a baddie. And it's your job to kind of not confuse or confound her, but what we tend to call pattern interrupt. We've got to not look, sound, smell, feel, taste like a cold caller, right? So that the whole thing about that, in fact, aren't we going to later do a little bit of a role play on this? But the point is, it's about tonality, it's about the words that you use, it's about having equal business stature, it's about being very kind of authoritative, assertive, not aggressive. It's about being slightly confused. It's all about kind of positioning your way in a way that no other, cold caller does, and that's how you get past the gatekeeper. So maybe a little later on we'll do some demos. Have you got any ideas for that?
So I think the strategy with gatekeepers is a tiered approach, and your first, the first sort of tactic I would use is exactly what Antonio said. If I get a gatekeeper, I'll just, it's a confounding strategy. It is thank you, it's hi, can I speak to George please? So I'm going to use first names, I'm not going to use surnames, because as soon as I'm using surnames or Mr. or as soon as I don't know the name of the person, then I'm setting myself up as a baddie. So can I speak to George please? If that doesn't work, if I get a press back who's calling, I'll say, I'll try again. Hi, could you just tell George that Carlos is on the line? That's tactic number 2, that's move number 2. If I get some resistance again, I'll get a little uncomfortable. Now I've got a choice, because the gatekeeper doesn't really want to handle difficult calls. So I might say, you could tell George that Carlos is on the line, has got some difficult things to talk to him about, or I might not use that phrase, but I might say, Carlos is on the line, I need to talk to him about some business opportunity. Well, that sounds like that might need to get through. If that doesn't get anywhere, then I've got to make a friend of the gatekeeper. And I would say, I would ask the name, can I have your name please? It's Eric. Eric, my name's Carlos, I'm really trying to get hold of George. There's some important things to talk about. If you were me, Eric, how would you get through to George? I've got to try, and then if it's a really important person you're trying to get through to, if it's somebody that's really strategically important, then I would do one kind of last thing. I would say, hey, it's really important that I get through to George. My boss is breathing down my neck. Have you ever had a boss like that, Eric? Everybody's had a boss like that. Have you ever had a boss like that, Eric? If you were me, Eric, and you really needed to get hold of George and your boss was breathing down your neck, what would you do? And that's kind of a vulnerable move. It's a not okay move in Sandler language.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And I'd also consider that, there's a difference between please and thank you. So could I talk to George, please? There's a difference between can I talk to George, please, and can I talk to George, thanks? And thanks assumes a position of power, whereas please assumes a position of deference, which isn't what we're after. When somebody calls and says, hey, I don't suppose George is floating around today, is he? They don't quite know how to deal with that. I mean, we have, if you do come and crash a class, there's a million of those kinds of moves. If you call and say, hi, I don't suppose George is floating around today, is he? Do you sound like a baddie, or do you sound like maybe you know George, right? And remember, your job is to get past the gatekeeper. Beyond that, you've then got to have a conversation with a suspect who you're trying to determine whether or not they're a prospect. And that conversation with the gatekeeper will never be relayed back. They'll never have a conversation. What did that guy, what did he say? It's just the world moves too quickly. So I'd consider thank you as opposed to please. And I think if somebody calls and says, hey, is that Carlos? And you go, yeah. And you go, hi, Carlos. This is Frank from Blue Wall. How are you today? Right? And you're thinking,
it's a hook,
right?
It's a hook. It's cold call.
Good morning. How are you? It's a great morning, isn't it fun? You know it when you hear it. So don't be that. Be that.
Do you know, I have one last thing to say, because I can imagine we are going to do a little role play later, but I can imagine that there's people watching this that are going to say, chill out, that isn't going to work.
Right.
And the fact is, it doesn't work every time. It really doesn't. There's no magic phrase that's going. There's no strategy designed in Hogwarts that's going to get you through absolutely every gatekeeper. But the fact of the matter is, and we help clients make millions of cold calls. The fact of the matter is that if you say to a gatekeeper, "Hi, it's Carlos here, holding for George," that works far more often than a strategy designed to without any kind of with any humility, or which is more vulnerable or more subservient. The strong, assertive, "Hi, this is Carlos, I'm holding for George. Tell George Carlos is holding." Those moves are far more likely to get through. They don't work all the time.
Big topic, this one.
We could do this all
It's
night.
a big topic. We could do this one for an hour. Who asked that question? Whoever asked that question, I hope that worked. Genuinely, it's probably half a day's training.
Look at our next segment. Our next segment is a cold call role play.
Okay.
Are you going to move it?
No.
Okay, let's do it.
No, let's do it. So
this is a great segue into a little role play. Let's show the world what a
should we
cold
assume
call
you've
looks like.
just got through the gatekeeper?
Yeah,
now?
I think so, because we've done gatekeeper.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
gatekeepers now. So shall I be the?
Which one do you want to be?
I'm not bothered.
We do it
You
hard
do-
or do it easy?
You do yours, and then I'll do one, and then
Okay, I'll do
we'll
it.
move on.
Should we do
you do
proper?
one.
Should we do back to back style? I think that'll work quite well on the camera. Back to back.
These chairs go back to back.
Do they?
That
There we
works,
go.
Okay,
Does it work?
go for it. So I'm picking up the phone now.
Ring ring.
I'll pick up this.
Okay, so I've got through a gatekeeper. I've got to you directly. Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you? What are you doing? What am I calling for?
You're calling to. I'm a contractor, and you're calling to see whether or not I'm happy with my brick supplier.
Brick
I
supplier,
don't know.
and you own a building company. Okay.
Right.
Great. Okay. Ring.
George.
Sure, will be Antonio if you want.
Oh,
Ring.
Hi, Antonio.
Antonio. Hi. My name is Carlos. Carlos Garrido. I'm not sure if my name rings a bell.
No, it doesn't ring a bell, Carlos.
Do you know, I wasn't sure if it would. And Antonio, I don't even know if you're the right person to speak to. Does it make sense if I was to take a minute, tell you why I called, and if you're not the right person, then I'll just get out of your hair. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Antonio. Again, I'm Carlos Garrido. I work with a company called Bricks Are Us, and
Okay.
we work with a lot of contractors in your area. That they typically tell me one of a couple of things. They'll say to me either, "Do you know, we're having really problems with our bricks. They're not really quite square enough, and they're looking for much squarer bricks than they're finding typically in the market." And sometimes it's the colours that are the main problem. Sometimes they say to me, "Do you know, I'm getting the normal standard bricky colour. That comes through a treat, but our existing our existing supplier, they struggle with the more unusual brick colours like puce and plum and orange." And I don't know for a moment, Antonio, if you there at Antonio Construction ever face issues with the brick colours or the brick squaredness. And I don't know if we should even have a conversation. And if not, I'll get out of your hair.
Okay, good. You don't know much about bricks, do you?
Not a lot.
No, but that was okay. That's all right. Should we turn
Wait
it
a
around?
minute, not done yet.
Oh,
Tell
sorry,
me
no.
no. Tell me no. Tell me it's not for you.
Do you know, that doesn't sound... No, do you know what? I think we're okay with our brick needs right now. Thank you.
Antonio, I appreciate you being forthright, and sometimes people say, "Oh, send me some information." You didn't do that, and I appreciate that.
Right.
Just before I get out of your hair, I've got a couple of questions. The one thing I want to ask you is, now you know a little bit about what we do, brick colours, square bricks, is there anyone you can think of in your network that I should be talking to, that if you were me, you might, you'd want to talk to?
No, I don't think there is, Carlos.
Then thank you very much. Last thing before I get out of your hair. Who knows, in 6 months' time, you may have a brick colour issue. And would you be offended if I was to pick up the phone again, just remind you that I was here, have a very short conversation like this?
No, that'll be fine.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Antonio. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carlos.
That's it.
So-
I got it all in. I got a permission to get the ring back.
Yeah.
I asked for a referral.
Yeah.
You could have bidden. You could have said, hey, I'm interested in the Puce bricks, but
Who wants Puce bricks?
some builders want
You
Puce
never know.
bricks.
You know, I'm not what
I'm
colour
not
is
entirely
Puce?
sure what Puce is,
Yeah.
no, but it is a colour.
Someone Google it. What's Puce? But here's the other interesting thing. I said no. I was nice and reasonably polite. Do we need an ambulance now? Are you bleeding from all
Of course
orifices?
not. I want to hear no. I want to hear no. Because when I want to know no, I want to know today.
You know, a lot of people think that a lot of sales guys say cold calls don't work. What are they really saying?
Saying, I don't like making cold calls.
Right.
That's what they're really
But
saying.
cold calls do work because, well, all of our biggest clients
Came from
come
cold
from
calls.
cold calls. All of our clients' biggest clients come from cold calls. Cold calls do work.
You
They
know,
may be tricky. Yeah.
You speak to anybody who has part of their prospecting mix cold calling. Some of them will tell you different techniques. Some of them will tell you different times of day to call. Some of them tell you different places to get a list. They will all tell you something different, but they will all tell you that they got their biggest client through a cold call.
Yeah, that's true.
Every single one
That's
of them.
true.
Okay.
And you know, if cold calls didn't work, and actually we went to a conference last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Matson, our CEO, was saying that there was a bunch of research saying how much more important the phone is going to become over the next few years. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I really do, yeah.
And so if you're not, if you're afraid of the phone, do you know, good start, afraid of the phone. If you're
I feel a
afraid,
book in that.
I do
I
too.
can feel a book in
I
that.
do.
Okay.
If you're afraid of the phone, then phone is your friend. Can you see this magic? The phone is your friend, and there's a lot of money in the phone, so get it right. We just have a
Hi,
say a
Charlotte.
quick hello. We have another member of our family and staff here today.
Hi.
Oh, she's coming right in.
Just going
Charlotte,
right into say hello.
what do you think about making cold calls?
I think they're awesome. They rock and they work.
That's it.
That is such a better way of saying it
That,
than
and
we
it's
said it.
like we
Where the
Phones
money
are.
is.
That's where the money is. There's money right there.
nice.
Victor, if you're watching, that's the money right there.
So that looks like we set that up. I promise you
We didn't.
Okay,
We just walked
let's move on. 'cause
Do you know,
we're
on that
going
point,
behind.
why would you even be thinking about a good idea for a book?
Right. Oh, well,
That seems strange.
It's
Why would
interesting.
sales trainers be thinking of books?
because last week at the annual client summit
See what I did?
conference
See what
in
I did?
Orlando,
That's called a segue.
That was a segue.
That's a segue.
You should be on the radio.
Should be.
Um,
We've got a face for radio.
Very good face radio.
Go ahead.
Two books were, one book was launched and another one was kind of reminded. And I thought to myself, if you go on to www.absolute.sandler.com, you're going to find our website. And on there's going to be a tab that says, does it say resources or shop, or it may even say books? Do you know what it says, Judy?
Shop.
Shop. And you click on that tab and you're going to find a whole bunch of books. Do you remember the Generation Game?
I do, but the Americans won't remember the Generation Games.
Yeah, but they'll understand it. when
Good
we
game,
do it.
good game.
Good game, good game.
Brucey.
Bootstrap Selling, The Sandler Way by Bill Morrison. This is the conveyor belt. Do you remember? You've got to
Used
try
to
and
have
remember all of these.
music.
For the people in Miami and South America that are watching, you can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar in Spanish. #1 best-selling book.
Say it in Spanish.
No puedes enseñar a un niño a andar en bicicleta en un seminario.
You can't. You absolutely can't.
49.
Claro que sí. Claro que
Claro
sí.
que sí. The 49 Sandler Rules, another Wall Street bestseller. That's the 49 sales principles and how to use them.
This is taking too long because it feels like a sales shtick. Go through it quicker.
Okay, Change
The
the
Sandler
Sandler Way. If you're dealing with some change, Hamish Knox, great book. That's the English version. You can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar. The book that started it all.
Claro que sí.
If you have hugely long, difficult, protracted sales cycles, Enterprise Selling by Dave
Brian.
Matson and Brian Sullivan. Fantastic. If you're selling IT, professional services, if you're an accountant, if you're a lawyer, Read that book, Selling Professional Services the Sandler Way. If you're not doing 20 minutes on LinkedIn a day, you're crazy. LinkedIn the Sandler Way. Here's a good book by Carlos Garrido, Lead When You Dance. Do you want to talk about that?
Nice, Lead When You Dance, the success secrets.
Customer service. If your customer services if your customer service people aren't a strategic part of your sales business and aren't getting you orders instead of just processing orders, you're crazy. Anne McKeegan, great book. Should we do the rest next week?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just a whole bunch. We've got a whole bunch more, but
We were nearly through them.
do you think?
Go, finish out.
Succeed the Sandler Way, which is a great book because there's lots of stories about, real stories, and everybody likes stories about lots of, I think there's 14 stories about...
By Carl Schreibel, Adam Boyd, and if Carl and Adam are watching, this is my favourite Sandler book.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll do a review of it next week.
Ooh, nice.
Selling to homeowners. If you ever have to knock on someone's door, sit in their living room and sell them something, kitchens, bathrooms, roofs, anything like that. That's
Selling
the
to
book for you.
homeowners, Kim Boyer, Chip Doyle.
If you're a manager and you've got salespeople working for you and you are struggling to, accountability is so important. Got to hold people's feet to the flames. They've got to do what they say they're going to do. Hamish will tell you
Our
how.
buddy Hamish Knox from Canada.
If you want to get new prospects into your funnel, Prospect the Sandler Way by John Rosso, the rock star in the world about prospecting. If you don't read this book, you're crazy.
This is a 30-day guide to no pressure prospecting. I'm hoping I'll disappear behind the pile.
How about the Sales Coach's Playbook? If
Nice,
you're a sales
Bill
manager,
Bartlett.
you've got to coach your guys. This is one of my favourites. Sorry, Bill, if you're watching. The book that was introduced just last week, which is the 49 Sandler Rules for Sales Leaders. Brand new book. I confess I haven't read it all yet. I helped write one of the chapters. So there are probably more, but they're the ones that I just grabbed. We went completely off-road there, and Alice in the UK, if you're watching,
way off.
she's going to kill us.
Yeah,
she's
okay.
going to kill us. Sorry about that.
Let's go to, you know what we should do? I'm going to do a quick remind you why on earth are we here.
Okay.
We come to you every week from Sandler, Miami, from our training room. We come to you clean, fresh, showered, and smelling so sweetly. And is there another book there that you missed?
Yeah,
Vito, the Vito book, 5 minutes with Vito. And we do this to bring you some sales tips, and if anybody finds themselves in South Florida on a Monday at noon, please come and crash one of our workshops. We'll treat you like family, you will treat you like a client, you'll sit in the room with all our other clients and get the world's leading behaviours, attitudes and techniques of sales success.
Let's talk about the summit next year. I think
we're going to ditch the one thing I do every day. Well, let's just do a quick fire.
Okay.
One thing, because it was asked, what's one thing I need to do every day no matter how busy I am?
I did a drum roll, so hold on. Prospect. And can I give another one?
Ask for referrals.
Okay, ask for referrals.
My answer is journal. And if you want to know about journaling, and if you want to know about the power of journaling, then you pick up the phone and speak to me, Carlos Garrido. My details are on the website.
Or
not.
Or you go on to Apple, or you download any kind of app store. You go onto the app store on your phone and download.
Success.
The How to Succeed podcast. It's a podcast. It's every week. You get lots of info, and there is a good one in there. Journaling by me, very good stuff. That's if you want to hear more of me. Maybe you don't, but you should still go on.
Right, let's close with Sandler Summit and outro. Go.
So last week we had the Sandler Summit in Orlando. It's 2 or 3 days. It's for sales and leaders. We have 1,500 people from around the world. What was it like, Charlotte?
The summit, it was awesome.
There you go. The summit. It was
And
awesome.
I don't actually think life is awesome in general because I just came in saying everything was awesome.
Okay.
Everything
Yeah,
is
it's
awesome.
So, it would cost you if you went It's next March. It's in Orlando. It's always in Orlando, and it would cost you $2,891. However,
I can hear the gasp from Facebook land.
I know. So, but if you go to our website or you Google Sandler Summit 2018. Sandler Client Summit 2018. There's going to be a link for an early bird special, and it's $600. It's 300 now, 300 in July. 1,200 people from around the world. Can't be wrong. It's amazing. See you next year.
So, Sandler Summit, it
Just like
is 2 days of rock'em, sock'em, attitude, behaviour, technique, everything you need to make your professional life and personal life more successful. It feels like what?
Feels like we're doing a lot of ads today.
It felt too addy.
Feels like it.
We're going to get heat for it.
Yeah.
Facebook land is going to react badly to it. We need
Books
to fix
was a
that.
bad idea. My
Books
fault.
was a bad idea.
Sorry, Facebook land.
We'll bring you more content. Here's my commitment to you. Next week,
Yeah.
we will make it very content rich and add light. With that, and we should do fine, but with that, we have a couple of minutes left, so why don't you explain to the people? Should we do very quick? We'll do one each.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what would Antonio do?
Super quick.
Super quick. What would Antonio do? Beautiful. What would Antonio do? Oh, it's what we've just done. What would Antonio do if gatekeeper is an iron curtain? Nice phrase.
It is a nice phrase.
Well, there we go. Iron curtain, which means you've tried and tried and you haven't got through. So what would you do?
Oh my gosh. A couple of things. First of all, I'd probably ring or earlier or after she's there.
Nice thought.
So I'd try and, because you've got to get round her.
Yeah,
Then I'd
nice.
probably use...
You assumed it's a her because she's tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'd probably try and, whoever I'm trying to get to, I'd maybe use LinkedIn as an alternative way in.
Nice. Veto.
The other thing I would do, so there's veto, and I think the other thing I would do is try this move if somebody's not wearing it. And remember, you could always ring back next week, she'll never remember your voice.
Absolutely
Right?
not.
So she won't remember, maybe she's just having a bad day, who knows? But then if you ring back the next week, how about this? Hi, this is Antonio for George. And if she says, is George expecting your call? So, well, I don't know, I'm guessing so. His name's on a piece of paper here on my phone.
Ooh, dastardly. And if you have a very strong... if it isn't within you to behave so dastardly, 'cause that's quite a dastardly move.
Dastardly.
But if it's not in you to do that, I would honestly, I think, ring earlier, ring later. That's often, ringing on public holidays. The boss is often in on a public holiday.
I know I am.
The one that's answering the phone. There's a number of things we can do. We can if you wanted to come and crash a class, we can answer that question more thoroughly. What would Carlos do?
What would Carlos do if a client requested a proposal but won't return the calls? Should I send the proposal without having the conversation?
Absolutely not. Here is my advice when someone
Good question.
says, hey, great question. My advice if somebody says, hey, can you send me a proposal for this thing? My answer is, would love to talk to you about this opportunity. I've got a bunch of questions for me to properly frame out and scope what work we would do. I'm going to need to get together with you. And if they won't connect with you, it means one of a couple of things, and all of them is bad. Number one, it means they already know who's getting this gig, and you're just making up the numbers. It could mean, number two, that this isn't an important thing for them. They had a flash of inspiration. They thought, hey, I'll find out how much this is going to cost, with no intention. And by the way, a client without compelling reason to do something is not a good prospect. A prospect without a compelling reason to do something is not a good prospect.
A suspect.
Whatever. And it could mean, basically, you're on a hide into nowhere. If somebody's not prepared to engage, the answer is no, thank you. I have better things to do with my time.
Yeah, you could be just competitively shopping you.
Yeah.
So Alice, if you are watching, I do apologise that we went off-road. She's going to kick my
She
backside.
should.
She
kick
will.
you.
So again, thank you for tuning in. Do share, and please do come and crash a class. That's why we do this. We want people to come and be able to... What's the worst that can happen? An hour and a half, free, best training in the world. Honestly, we're better than this when we're normally doing it. Please come. www.bit.ly/SMCAC, which is Sandler Miami Crasher Class. Thank you so much for tuning in, and it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him. Goodbye.
Bye.